Previously, in the heart of an ancient forest, a child found something lost to time, a glowing egg, and within it the last dragon. Now, the forest is no longer silent. Magic stirs, eyes are watching, and the journey has only just begun. The forest was no longer just a place of shadows and silence. It had become a sanctuary, a living world that seemed to awaken with every step the boy and the dragon took together. The child, no older than 8, moved with cautious wonder. His dark green cloak fluttered lightly in the breeze as he stepped through the glowing mist. His bare feet brushed soft moss, and his wide eyes sparkled with awe and alertness. In his arms, the dragon rested, no longer just an egg, but a glowing creature of golden light, breathing softly, its blue eyes always watching. Its scales shimmered with warmth, and its breath fogged the cool air. The deeper they traveled into the enchanted forest, the more the child could feel it. This land was ancient, sacred, and very much alive. It welcomed the dragon as if it remembered something long lost. Fireflies hovered like tiny lanterns, illuminating runes carved into trees. The roots of the forest reached toward them, as if recognizing the young one and his rare companion. At nightfall, they curled beneath a towering ancient tree, whose trunk twisted like a spiral staircase reaching into the stars. The child lay with the dragon curled beside him, the golden creature's tail wrapped around them both like a protective thread of fate. The boy's cloak was worn and thin, but the dragon's warmth shielded him from the chill. A small fire danced nearby, its embers casting flickering shadows on the bark, painting their faces with light and memory. The boy whispered stories to the dragon, of dreams, of skies, of things he'd never seen but believed were real. And though the dragon could not speak, it listened. It always listened. That night, stars fell in silence. And somewhere deep in the woods, something stirred. Not all eyes that watched them were kind. Days passed, and the dragon began to grow. Its wings stretched wider, shimmering with threads of stardust and lightning. Its movements grew stronger, more purposeful. With each sunrise, its glow brightened, like a dawn that refused to end. The boy stood by each day, guiding it gently, feeding it berries and bits of roasted roots. He laughed when it tripped over its tail and soothed it when it shivered in its sleep. Then, one morning, beneath the sunlit canopy, the dragon unfurled its wings fully, and for the first time, lifted from the ground for more than a second. It hovered, wings trembling, golden mist rising around it. The child gasped, arms raised in celebration. And in that moment, the sky no longer felt far away. But while the forest blessed them, the outside world hunted them. 3 dark figures entered the wood, cloaked in silence. Their eyes glowed crimson beneath bone-white masks. Their boots made no sound on the forest floor. They carried relic weapons, cold blades designed not to cut, but to capture. They were seekers, trained to sniff out ancient blood and silence it. The dragon's glow had drawn them in. The child sensed them before he saw them. The way birds stopped singing, the stillness in the air. He held the dragon tightly and whispered, "We have to go." But the forest, ever protective, did more than whisper. It shifted, guarding their path with moving vines and mist. Still, the danger was closing in. Through winding trails and secret paths, the boy led the dragon away. They climbed higher and higher, to where clouds brushed stone and the air grew thin. At last they reached it, a cliff so high, the sky seemed within arm's reach. There, at the edge of the world, they stopped. The dragon stood tall beside him now, glowing with strength and purpose. The boy's cloak fluttered wildly in the wind. His eyes welled not with fear, but with understanding. He placed both hands on the dragon's warm snout, looked deep into those ancient blue eyes, and whispered, "You were never mine to keep. You were meant for more." The dragon gently nuzzled him, as if to say, "You are part of that more." The dragon stepped back, then sprinted forward, its wings catching the rising wind, and leapt. Golden light burst outward as it soared into the sky, trailing brilliance in its wake. Below, the child watched, his eyes wide, heart racing with awe. The hunters arrived at the cliff moments too late, staring in disbelief as the dragon vanished into the clouds. The boy stood unafraid. He had no weapons, no automat, only belief. And belief had just taken flight. The dragon flew higher and farther, wind rushing past its wings like music. It danced through skies no dragon had touched for centuries. It roared not with anger, but with joy. Below, rivers shimmered, forests bloomed, and the very clouds parted to make way. The world looked small, but full of wonder. And within its golden heart, the dragon carried a memory. A boy in a green cloak, a fire beneath the trees, a promise unspoken, yet unbroken. As the sun dipped low, the sky turned to fire and gold. The dragon, now a streak of brilliance across the heavens, flew toward lands no map could name. And far below, the child sat on the cliff's edge, smiling. He had set something free, and in doing so, had freed himself. This was not the end. This was only the beginning.